I'm working out yesterday at the practice facility, and a lot of people gravitated towards the form of Tyrese Haliburton's shot. And I told them, hey, I know it looks kind of funky to some extent, but I've seen worse. And he's already proven to be a good free throw shooter in college. He was a good 3-point shooter. I think he was, if not 40%, somewhere around there. And I get it. It's going to be a lot tougher at the NBA level to get up a shot. But I do think it's a one-motion shot, even though it is a little bit funky. And in your expertise and your experience, do you try to change a funky form, or do you adjust accordingly to how other teams play it?
Interesting. I don't necessarily think about how other teams play.
Okay.
Because if I'm trying to help an individual, I look at, I mean, funky form is defined by what?
Right.
My thoughts are, everybody would think that my thoughts are funky. So, I don't know. My guys, I'm kind of an efficiency expert. So I just try to have people understand the guys standing in front of you in the NBA, they're in the NBA for a reason. They didn't get here by accident. And they're great at something. They're great at things. And they're willing to be great at something else. So I just try to help them be the best versions of themselves, understanding the physics and geometry and biomechanics of every person. The things I focus on are a ton about efficiency, and there's a lot to that, Leo. So, would somebody have gone out and tried to change Reggie Miller's shot?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many guys finish with their hands across each other? Like I've stood in front of coaches and they say, well, gosh, Rob, we need to change this guy's shot. And I go, well, what kind of numbers is he shooting? And they run down this list of numbers. I go, okay, I got to tell you, coach, those are pretty good numbers.
Yep.
And then I'll ask questions like, can he shoot in this situation, that situation? Well, he's been in all those situations. I go, I'll be the first one to tell you, what do you need me for? I don't have an ego so big that I want to stand there and say, well, here, give him to me and I'll change him. If he doesn't need to be changed, support what his greatness has been to this point,
Mm-hmm.
and take that as far as you can. And then if you get to a blocking point and you have to make an adjustment, then understand what the adjustments may be. So, everybody has their own. I'll give you a side example. I've stood in front of players where I've said, I need you, kid, shoot this shot for me, shoot this shot for me, shoot this shot for me. And they'll shoot a few. And then I'll stand there and go, how long ago did you break your arm? And they'll, what? I go, yeah, you broke your arm. How long ago did you break your arm? Well, how'd you know I broke my arm, coach? I said, I can see it. So my point to that is somebody may have what I call their own ism. Maybe their shoulder doesn't move the same as yours or mine or somebody else's. But they're great at what they're doing and they're making the best. If I can help them with what that is and the thing that they have to deal with from, biomechanics or physical restriction, great, let's do that. So that guy may not ever look like somebody else. So some guys shoot from the left side of their head, some guys shoot over here, and what's to determine.
Or Sean Marion, right? Like Sean Marion shot from here up, but the shot would go in.
If you took Sean's hands and moved him up here, he'd have looked perfect. Because Sean followed through like that. It's almost perfect. He just shot it from low. But Sean was one of the most unique shot makers in those, those little diving floaters, and this incredible ability. I get to play with Sean one day. You just marvel at his ability. Obviously, he was a freak athlete, the Matrix, but he had this incredible. There's two guys that stick out in my mind like that. Sean and Anton Jameson were the same. They would jump in and shoot floaters from all these crazy positions, and all it is weird. Ball goes in the basket. So, would you change that?
No,
I don't. Yeah. I mean,
no.
I wouldn't.
And that's what I told people yesterday. I was like, yeah, his shot looks funky, but define funky is the counter argument, right? That you
Yeah.
posed. But if his shot's going in, if he's shooting a solid percentage from the free throw line, why would you want to change that right from the get go? Like, why would you
Well,
mess with the psyche right from the get go, right?
it's interesting because I've actually done this. I have a younger player of mine
Mm-hmm.
who's playing in college now. I've had him since he was in sixth grade, and he was two-time Mr. Basketball in the state of Utah, and he was a 50, 40, 90 guy
Wow.
before he hurt his ankle in the middle of his season last year. And I saw him and I said, okay. I said, obviously what you're doing is great, but it's not pro. I said, I think you can shoot 95% from the free throw line. I don't say that very often. But I said, I think you can shoot 95% from the free throw line. And I think you can shoot the same percentage from the 3-point line, double the volume, double the situation. I said, here's how. And he was like, great, let's go. Of course, we've known each other since he was in sixth grade. So there's a history and there's a background. And, I don't ever stop pushing for greatness, but I can only do that. I can only do that when I'm there. If you're not going down the right path, don't go down a path. If you're on a path that's pretty good and gets you good results and you're not sure what direction to go after that, stay on the path that you're on until you know. So like with our guys, I start with everybody on day one, but I feel like we can direct them onto the right path.
Mm-hmm.
So they go down that path. But I don't, if you're not sure what to do with somebody and they're already pretty good, see if you can help them in other ways other than technique, with balance and abilities to
Right.
do this or this or this. And a lot of times you'll turn out to have a pretty darn good player.